Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact reaction. Today we have the Mavuika character trailer I'll be listening to, mostly listening, not so much paying attention to the animation stuff, because I will get distracted, albeit I know it's there. But the song was requested in the comments by Harshit. He's back again and has won many upvotes on his comment last time. And I actually have a bone to pick with Verse in the comments, who said I wouldn't know what a character trailer is. Bruh. Just because I don't play the game doesn't mean I don't play video games. I know what a character trailer is. Come on. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm not that unk, alright? I play games. I've played games. I know how this works. But I just wanted to give some sass back to Verse because of a Patreon member, nonetheless, not believing that hard in me at all and just having no faith that I would know what a character trailer is. That hurt a little bit, you know? Come on, Verse. That hurt. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to this song, shall we? Let's go. Actually surprisingly subdued. I knew the character this was, so I was expecting something a lot more aggressive right off the bat, to be honest.
When the night is closing in,
now that's fitting.
and you feel the darkness growing, hope is fading every day.
All right, it's getting there.
In my heart there is a fire glowing, light the spark and hear the engines roaring. With me,
Very tight drum mix. All right, yep, it got there. I was surprised at the energy at the beginning, but I appreciate the dance beat. More of a pop rock vibe. They even got the notes right on the piano. A little bit off on the drums there, but that's fine. I was expecting it to jump right back in. A double build-up, though. I really wasn't sure about this at the beginning, but I'm here now. Woo! Tasteful guitar solo. Of course, got to do the mic drop. All right. I was definitely struggling to ignore the animation stuff in there just because it is so distracting for me. My animator brain wants to go into that, but I will avoid that and just get into the song. You know, it's kind of nice actually spending all this time being away from the Brony fandom as an ex-Brony and just seeing that Sunset Shimmer is still a part of the Equestria Girls is really nice. It's refreshing information. I'm sorry to anybody I may have offended with that. Anyway, great song. Definitely some big anthem, like pop rock vibes from the early 2000s in this one. Definitely going for that aesthetic. I remember listening to plenty of bands and groups that had this sort of feel. Kelly Clarkson alone just being one of them that had this kind of approach to music. It wasn't just like straight alt rock. It was definitely a poppy variant edge of it. And that works really well for a character who, as far as I'm aware from the minor lore I've caught on this character, is kind of acting like this location's overall hero hero, like their person to look up to, their local legend of sorts. And that kind of fits with the vibe there. You have somebody who's going a little bit against the grain, who has kind of this badass energy to them, has a lot of bravado, they're very proud of themselves, and she has the energy and the cult of personality around that idea, where she's able to keep people's attention, and they love her for obvious reasons, and that's why they support her. But that's also a two-way street. Like, she is loved because she does well, and I can tell that through this video. She's obviously being shown as somebody who cares a lot about the people that she's around, and like her people are who she cares about. And I'm not exactly sure how that may tie into the rest of the game, of course, but I am very aware that there are characters in Genshin that kind of act as like locationary heroes and that people look up to, or at least support in that way, and that this girl just seems to be the most like abrasive with it, but like in a positive way. She doesn't stand for bullshit, is the vibe I get from her, just based alone on the motorcycle. I mean, overall, this song is talking about that exact sort of support. Like, she's like, I will be the person at the forefront if you are willing to fight for something you believe in, and we're all on the same page here. And that's a big feature of many heroic characters, is like they all believe that they want to do better, but there has to be one central aspect, one person willing to carry that torch in order to do that. So it just makes a lot of sense here that she's very uplifting and that people love that about her, because they want things to be better, they want to be happy, so they're like, can we fight for this? As long as we have her as like our pariah, then yes. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, pariah is an outcast, somebody that isn't favored by like the general public, you can kind of see it as a black sheep mentality, where like that one person is so strange in their unique qualities that they can then lead a reform of the current, belief system or the overall process of a nation, even at that point. So you could see that in that way as well. So like, don't get on me about using the term pariah. I still stand behind that. It's just a more finessed version and definition of it is what I prefer to use for that case. But a lot of the time, especially in media, pariahs end up becoming this exact type of character, somebody who leads a reform of a nation in some way, shape, or form. For all I know, she's been loved since she showed up and was never a social outcast of any way, but that doesn't, again, necessarily mean that pariah doesn't fit. It just needs to be shoved and moved around a little bit for the definition to work, you know what I mean? And alt pop rock is like the perfect genre for that, because you have an alternative music style, rock, that was, it almost immediately seemed as like this negative thing in most places in the world, and then all of a sudden you have somebody singing that, but in a pop format, so it feels a lot more bright. It's something that is more generically accepted, more generally allowed in everybody's mind. It's just kind of approved immediately because it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's dancey, and you blend those two worlds together and it creates this subculture of people who believe in that vibe. And that's, again, I'm just getting really wordy and very like philosophical on this character here, but I do believe that's exactly what the character is somebody who may have been an outcast, but still has the cult of personality around them, the people who believe in their beliefs and want to support them because they want to support the other people. That sort of personality goes a long way in media and is usually, like I said earlier, how these heroic characters are made. So I think this song does a really good job at just condensing all of that thought into this song, and the singer did an amazing job too. The singer being Chrissy Costanza, she did an amazing job here. She had a lot of good vocal stuff going on in here. I'm not going to judge her vocally because she definitely sings better than I do, but there were some things that she was doing vocally that I was like, okay, like it wasn't like notes or anything. It was more like how she was kind of slopping around certain vowel sounds in order to make things connect to the next parts, and it was just a little bit slidey. The tone was great, but sometimes you do have to kind of futz around with those vowel sounds, especially in order for them to like fit the phrasing, especially if it was written in a different language initially and you have to kind of adjust that for the timing. Stuff like that does happen a lot in songs, like I'd mentioned, that have multiple languages, because you need to be able to fit every syllable into the song and still make it lyrically make sense, which is definitely why certain people like the sound of a different language's version better than another, is because of that feel. It's a very common thing to have a bias towards, and sometimes it's completely valid. And other times it's just because they're not used to hearing the way that the syllable count works in other languages. So it's a little bit futzy there, and that's why I'm not really picking it apart. But I am feeling very yappy today. So I think I should end it here. Otherwise, I think I'll just keep going. So thank you all so very much for watching. I'm sorry that my brain seems to be a little bit fried today. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I think my ADHD is just going a little haywire. Like, I was trying to get an overall point to all of what I had said earlier, and I could legitimately not find a common ground to talk about and make the video make sense in the end. So I apologize if this seems a little underwhelming. If you didn't notice or didn't care, great. I'm just overthinking it maybe. I don't know, but today feels very strange for me. But either way, if you enjoyed this video and you want to request something else that I can get to next time, hopefully without my brain imploding on itself, then by all means leave it in the comments below and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for those other hopefully better videos in the future, then you know how to do all that, and we'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye!